calculator, the nice thing is that to do the calculation, we have to think of it on a per device standpoint. We have to look at, what's the software that's going to be installed on the end user, on the server, on if there's anything on the firewall. We want to look at how much labor needs to be accounted for from a preventative maintenance standpoint. And then if you're going to build the type of program where you're including the reactive labor as well, if you're looking at your pricing, we do need to think of it on a per device basis, but this is just for our internal exercise, just because, again, we need to think about, okay, what devices are going to be covered in our program. So we want to look at the software side first. What's all the software that's going to be installed that we're going to be managing on that device or for that end user. So you think of workstations, I'm thinking of the end user. So on their computer, what's all the different security software, your RMM software, your backup software that you're going to be having to install on that device. And then when you look at the monthly management time, so that's all the labor component, how much time are we putting in from a preventative maintenance standpoint? And that's, hopefully you're automating as much as you can, because using one of our RMMs, I think on the workstations, you can pretty much automate 100% of things. There might be the odd thing, that you might have to deal with if a patch doesn't take place or something like that. So you want to kind of build in some time for that. The remediation column, this is if you're building your program and you're including, I hate using this term all in, but if you are including help desk calls, if you are including, vendor management, if you are including emergency support, then we want to budget, what we're, kind of what that allowance is going to be in that remediation time, and then the consulting time. And then looking at the margin column, we have to then play with the price column. So column S, you'll see that it's gray, which means that we can play around the price to get to a desired gross margin. And so generally 50 to 80% is generally what we see. Your market, your customers, you definitely don't want to go below, I would say 50% for that. But yeah, all of that is on the device package. But then once you get to this page, you add in your devices, and it gives us a monthly price, but then we just have to do a manual calculation and just divide it by the number of users. So if this is a 20 user organization, and you can see, because I have 20 proactive workstations on this quote, we're just taking the 1333 and dividing it by 20. So a little bit of a manual math there, because the calculator doesn't explicitly do it for us. So just one little step that has to be done there, so that you can kind of convert your per device and then your total amount of your contract to bring it down to that per user price point. And then depending on how you do deal with the support end of things, you just want to kind of explain to your customer that, yes, I'm pricing it on a per user basis, but it may still include X, it may still include this, it may still include that. So it's not an all-inclusive, all-in type of pricing if it's more on the proactive side of things.